Hello again.
Okie dokie. We are here to talk about our daily Stoic passage for May 14th.
Excellent.
Well, happy May 14th and welcome. We are going to talk about today our well-being lies in our actions. So, yes, May is our month of right action. Or right action. And the whole part 2 of the book is the discipline of action. So talking a lot about that. Marcus Aurelius says, those obsessed with glory attach their well-being to the regard of others. Those who love pleasure tie it to feelings. But the one with true understanding seeks it only in their own actions. Think on the character of the people one wishes to please, the possessions one means to gain, and the tactics one employs to such ends. How quickly time erases such things, and how many has it wiped away already? All right, shall we go?
Let's go.
Those obsessed with glory attach their well-being to the regard of others. So those who are seeking success by the sort of cultural definition of success attach their well-being to what everybody's thinking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Those who love pleasure tie it to their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But the one with true understanding seeks it only in their own actions.
So, okay.
Okay, so he's saying attach their well-being. So he's saying it's unstable, right? Obviously, it's unstable to attach your well-being to the regard of others because other people, you can't control what they say or what they think, and it's constantly moving and changing, and there's people being born and dying every day. So that's an inherently unstable place to position your well-being. Same with feelings, because feelings are also something that comes and goes, and you don't really choose your feelings. They kind of show up, they just pop up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also an unstable place to put my well-being, because then the moment I encounter a blip of anger, my well-being is out the window.
Okay, if you think about it like that, then yes. If it just shows up and then your well-being has to be affected by it just showing up, then yes.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But the one with true understanding seeks it only in their own actions. So the one who understands what this whole thing is seeks well-being in their own actions, in their behavior, in who they show up into the world as.
Yeah.
Maybe part of that is because it can be anchored in the understanding.
Like what you do, like what you actually do,
yes.
Like how,
Yeah. Maybe part of that is because then it's anchored with the understanding, so the understanding is now shining through the actions that you're taking. So this is one way where investing your well-being like that is a positive thing for you, because if your actions reflect a true understanding of reality, your life is going to go better than not. You will probably experience more well-being if you live your life like that than if you don't live your life like that. And then the other reason to do that is because your actions are within your control. So, of course, I want to put my well-being in my control as much as possible so that I don't feel victimized when life has a different plan for me than what the plan I have for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says, think on the character of the people one wishes to please. Oh, okay, so he's saying think about the types of people who are the ones seeking glory, who are the ones who want possessions, and then he's saying time erases such things. So like, yeah, these are unstable elements. Time's moving, it's sweeping all of them away. And their characters they aren't people you would want to be like, is what he's saying, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's your like goal, right? Like you want to be like that or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see what Ryan's got.
Okay, Ryan says, if your happiness is dependent on accomplishing certain goals, what happens if fate intervenes? What if you're snubbed? If outside events interrupt? What if you do achieve everything but find that nobody is impressed? That's the problem with letting your happiness be determined by things you can't control. It's an insane risk. If an actor focuses on the public reception to a project, whether critics like it or whether it's a hit, they will be constantly disappointed and hurt. But if they love their performance and put everything they have into making it the best that they're capable of, they will always find satisfaction in their job. Like them, we should take pleasure from our actions in taking the right actions rather than the results that come from them. Our ambition should not be to win then, but to play with our full effort. Our intention is not to be thanked or recognized, but to help and to do what we think is right. Our focus is not on what happens to us, but on how we respond. In this, we will always find contentment and resilience.
Yeah, that sounds good. Like I have, like everything he's saying, it makes sense. Yeah, so it's nothing new is really coming up. Yeah, like just keep doing it.
I really liked this sentence. Our ambition should not be to win then, but to play with our full effort.
Yeah, because winning is you winning against something, right? So it's like something else has to lose then if you win, right? But versus like full effort forward with your self and everything included plus your team or something. It's more of like a teamwork versus this like I want to win or something. It's like I will pass the ball if I need to because that's part of the moving it forward. It's not about this selfish thing of having this ball constantly or something,
The full effort piece is really interesting because I'm starting to think that it's not possible to play with my full effort while at the same time trying to win. Because part of my effort then is in this like trying to win zone. And so I can't actually play with my full effort if part of my brain is at the same time thinking about like, I'm even just putting this into the context of like my work day, like there's sometimes I will avoid putting my full effort into something because I'm like trying to reserve some energy or like I'm kind of like irritated by the state of things, and so the irritation of the current state is like well, I'm gonna sit here and think about this other way of reality of how I wish it were, aka I'm trying to win. I'm just like mapping the concept of trying to win to unexpected places or examples in my life where I think what I'm ultimately trying to do is trying to win, but I would never call it that. I would never identify that as like, me.
Well, you're identifying it now.
Well, right, but only because we're sitting here talking talking about it. But when the moment is happening, let's say it's like, I'm in the middle of a work day and I'm like trying to wrap my head around a task, and I get myself like kind of caught up in like a little frustration loop. That in some way is me also trying to win. Mm-hmm. Rather than me just putting my full effort into the actual task at hand. And it would not take as much effort as I think it will take, right? I'm just like pissed off about the state of things, and I'm like, yeah, and that's bullshit, and they're making me figure, now I need to like get into these weeds? What? But you planted these weeds. I don't want to get into the weeds that you planted. I didn't plant them. I wasn't here when you planted it. So it's like, that even is me trying to win. But at the time that it's happening, in no way, shape, or form do I think I'm trying to win. I just think I'm like having a rough day or something. I don't even know what I think about that moment, you know? I'm not thinking about it. I'm just...
So like something is not going your way, and then you are maybe frustrated. And what do you mean by not going your way? Well, not going your way to some outcome that you want, maybe at the beginning of the day. So you kind of are saying, well, it's good to set up a goal, right? But it's more of a like a guide instead of like a must happen, right, type of a thing. Because then when it's this must win or must happen, then now you're thinking about that instead of the thing, and now you actually are further away from it, accomplishing it. So it's kind of like it should be more, a little less rigorous, I say, like, you know, like, hey, we need to, like, hey, I'm going to do my best to get this done today. But my best means that maybe it's going to have to be tomorrow. Or, you know what I mean? So, like leaving a more flexibility in there, so not be so rigorous, and that maybe creates... I know what you're saying, like, well, I don't want to be then, you know, like maybe that also might make you nervous of having too much of that wiggle room or something, but I don't know.
I don't think it's like, it's not as if I'm like, oh, I need to get this deliverable wrapped up and I'm crunched for time for the deliverable. It's more so like I'm resisting just getting involved at the level that the situation needs me to get involved at. And so then I'm kind of half paying attention to my resistance, like the part of me that's complaining, and I'm half paying attention to the thing that has been asked of me. And so that's not a very like present place to be. And also when he's talking about like, okay, like it's the performance, it's the full effort. Those are so much more present as an experience. Like when I am only concentrating on my performance and my effort, it's like I'm only paying attention to what's happening right now, sort of. And then like the space between the past and the future of, I'm still like glued a little bit to what just happened and what's about to happen, but I'm kind of joined up with the flow of how time is moving. So like it's very enjoyable even to be in that, like that's the flow state, I think. So it's interesting that this winning thing is also at the same time means that I'm not fully present with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, there are distractions. Yeah, while trying to achieve something, it'll be full of distractions. That's why discipline is actually not that discipline is hard. Discipline is actually the most helpful thing from distractions, because discipline is this thing of like, no matter what, if it rain or shine, I'm gonna do it, right? Do I want to? Well, no, that's not a good mechanism, right? Do I want to? Do I want to is affected by all these distractions, right? Do I want to or do I not want to? Well, that's very, you know, yeah, very sensitive to anything that's going on that's distraction like, but that discipline is very robust to the or it could be, right? If we look at the discipline like this thing made of like metal and it's really heavy and it's like can't move, you can crash a car into it, the thing wouldn't move, right? So like all of a sudden you're like, that's like, if I'm imagining discipline like that, now I say like, oh, thank you for not moving and deviating from all these distractions. I'm gonna just hold on to you because this is gonna get me through all these distractions or something. Yeah. Now saying it as a theory is one thing, doing it is another thing, obviously. But it sounds good.
Yeah, and that is even connected back to yesterday's whole thing where it's like it's like it's so easy to fucking talk about it. It's so easy to talk about it, and living it is a completely different beast.
Yeah, but I look at I don't look at it as like those two things are somehow separated from one another or something, or like.
I don't think they're separate. I think the talking is farther along than the doing.
Talking is farther?
Yeah, the part of me that's like talking about things is like more evolved or like farther along in development than the doing part of me, the part of me that knows how to do things.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like talking is before doing.
That's what I mean.
So then it's not further.
I mean, it's like farther along the evolutionary
but
path.
You are not ready. I am not ready. I would say I am not ready to do because I'm still talking, and talking is planning. So because I'm planning and I'm talking about it, I'm getting ready to go do it, right? Now I understand there might be people who are always stuck in this talk and never do or rarely do. No, I am aware of when I know that how it feels when it's getting ready for doing, and I know when it feels like, hey, I've been talking about this forever. I need to be doing something. You know what I mean? Like I have to go do. Now I need to. Now the next step is to do. So I look at talking as a step. Like first I have no idea. Then I have an idea. First step. Well, I don't know how to think about it, talk about it, do anything with it, nothing. Okay, so now I have to think about it. Next step. Now I'm going to start talking about it. Next step. Now I'm going to go do it. Right? So like I feel like actually the talking to me smells like, oh, I'm so close to about go do it. Because I already thought about it. I'm already thinking about it. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it from the standpoint of like, well, I understand it. Oh, well, if you understand it and you understand it to the point that you can explain it to someone else, you are ready to go do it. So then, okay, my next step is to go do it. So that's how I see it, as like on the next step. So talking, I look at it like, yay, like I'm close to about to go do it, versus you might be looking at it like, oh, I've been talking about it forever. I never, or like I'm further into talking about it, and then the doing got left behind or something. That's how I heard it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it as being left behind. I think like they're kind of moving at the same rate. It's just that one's in front of the other. So I guess like I do see it to some degree the way that you do, of like it's a stepping stone.
Some sort of a sequence,
I think the reason why I sort of like get excited about it conceptually is like because I will sometimes judge myself based on like the talk, the part of me that talks, rather than having the judge being like, no, it's the most important thing is what I do.
Yeah, but if you are, I would say like if you are already hearing internally that, I'm talking about this way too long, like I should already go do it or something. Well, then maybe that thing is the signal to like, yes, you are now ready to go do it, right? Like maybe that's just a signal. Like it's not like you're saying like, oh, I'm punishing myself. Like, oh, Brenty, like you've been talking about this for 2 months and you haven't done anything, right? And like now that's like it feels like that's like a bad thing. But you can look at it like, oh no, that thing, that bitching that I haven't done anything yet with it, but I'm talking about it all the time, is the trigger to go start doing it. You know what I mean? And you can
Sure.
switch it to like this is like a positive thing. That's what I should really pay attention, because that always shows up, right?
Yeah.
And so if it shows up, it could be a
there's the bitching.
cool trigger to do actually, like, oh, that's the thing. I'm hearing it again. Therefore, I gotta go do, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the bitching side of things, right? Like, like it's. I do have some of that, which I agree. Then that could be like a good strategy for like when the bitching comes up. But I think sometimes I'm judging myself in the other direction, where I'm like, I'm good. I'm good because I've thought about it and I'm thinking about it and I'm talking about it. I'm not doing it as much as I could be.
Well, yeah.
But I'm thinking about myself like I am like God's gift to this thing.
Mm-hmm. So you think too much of yourself. You're like just thinking. You're like I thought about it and I already understand everything. Therefore, I don't have to go do it because I already know. Well, then you're unfortunately in the camp of like. Hey,
well, I think we all do it. I think this is.
We all do it into some extent, of course. But that's and I'm not saying you're there and then there you're doomed. No, okay, cool. Recognize that they're like, oh shit, I've been like kind of talking a lot and not doing. Okay, I gotta maybe start, maybe.
That's the more difficult one, in my opinion, to catch, because it's the self-deception. It's like, how do you catch yourself in a lie when you're not aware that you're lying? And like maybe it's just like the process of, it's a more subtle process. It's not like here's what you do in this situation. It's more so like this progressive thing of like, okay, learning and going out there and, just having life tell me where I'm off base with how I'm seeing the whole thing and how I'm seeing myself here, and then having it get better. It's definitely gotten better. I'm just I'm noticing it now because like these Stoics are so much about self-deception, like all the ways in which I think that I am something else, or like the world is something else, and I can't see that. I can't. It's like I'm blind to it.
Like you're blind to that you're self-deceiving yourself.
Yeah, and they're talking about this as like kind of the human condition, that, this is a big problem. It's a big thing that we all run into and we all face. And the sort of spiritual path is the path of waking up from all of these lies that we've told ourselves. The I'm special in a bad way lies, the I'm special in a good way lies, the this is how the world works lies. So what's the end game then? Is there like a point? Do we think that there is some point in life where we are going to say we don't do that anymore? Or like we don't lie to ourselves anymore? I don't think we can. I don't know if we can control that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so Stoicism and these philosophies are not like you're gonna achieve. You get to this place, so you are living like this 100%. I really don't think that. No, and that would even be what they're talking about of like winning, or like the goal, or being focused on the outcome. It's like a little bit more like that. That's more like that more of the time. Just a little more like that more often. And that to me already is like that's enough of a goal. Of course, that's my goal. I don't need to be like, oh, I'm a Stoic, live by. I don't even what? Calling yourself a Stoic or calling yourself some sort of a philosopher or something, like what? Like that makes no sense, right? That's something like that's the goal. Like when I understand and I can, like that makes no sense. I'm like, no, I just want to do a little bit more of it. That's it. Yeah. Thank you. I'm winning already tomorrow. You know what I mean? I don't hear anybody's goal to be like, oh, I'm going to be a Stoic or a philosopher. I think people just think like, I'm going to be enlightened forever and ever and ever. No, but I'm hearing that in you saying that, oh, like I don't know when I'm deceiving myself, right? And so I'm saying like, yeah, but that's okay because that's... Yeah, and I'm not meaning to say it to complain about it. Like you're not supposed to be in a place where you're not deceiving yourself.
is what I'm saying.
Right, and I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to imply that I should be. What I'm trying to do is call a spade.
Yeah.
And just see things a little bit more clearly.
We are deceiving ourselves all the time. Yeah, every single one of us. Yeah.
And so then and how you're deceiving yourself is really none of my business, and how other people are deceiving themselves is none of my business. It's my business I'm deceiving myself.
To find your own deceptions. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And if you, and this is why they're even saying, like, this is why no one else can really tell you about the things you're being deceived on, because now that's my point of view on what you are missing. And now, and you might not see it, and therefore you go like, what? No, that's not like that at all, right? So this is why you can never get this from anyone else except from yourself, because no one will be actually honest with you, and you will believe them. You can only be honest and believe in yourself, nobody else. You know what I mean? The best psychiatrist can be saying this and this and this and this is what's going on. And you can be like, F you, that's not what's going on. Right? Like because we don't see it ourselves, right? So that's why the answers are, the questions and the answers are more closer to in the conversation with our own selves than with you or somebody else out there.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Cool.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you at home. And we'll see you here tomorrow.